I don't remember if you saw my message, but I was like, hey, hell yeah, back to the roots.
Hey, gotta get to back to the roots.
Love it.
Okay, hi everybody. Just wanted to let you guys know that I'm here with the lovely FyrF0x, phenomenal streamer. Miss FyrF0x, how are you doing today? And thank you.
Hi, I'm fantastic. How are you, Key?
I'm wonderful. I love the ears. I like the decor in the background. It's looking snazzy. All right, let's get down to it.
I thought I would dress up, but I like stuck in my onesie.
What are you talking about? You're like the best dresser I've had so far. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
So let's get down to it. Let's get down to the real question that everybody wants to know. How did you come up with your name?
Oh my goodness. That story, that is so funny. Oh my goodness. This is a partial long story, so I apologize for it being kind of a long story.
Girl, I got 60 minutes.
Yeah. You're like, I got to, well, you know what? It's actually a 61-minute story. So.
Let's go.
No, I just okay. So, fun fact, the first thing I'm going to say, guys, is the FyrF0x name is actually, it's a really good moral and kind of lesson of like, own your shit, basically. Excuse me, but own your shit and don't let people like bother you and take control of you and make fun of you and give you nicknames and stuff. Because, fun fact, FyrF0x was actually made as kind of like an insult because they were like, ooh, look at that, it's FyrF0x. Okay. And like, basically, the long story short, God, this is so crazy. Wow, triggering memories in a good way. But so basically, the long story short, I think Key knows this pretty well about me. I mostly get along with guys more so. I do love a ton of women, obviously, but I get along with guys better. My guys' girlfriends for Halloween one time, they were like, she should come join us and she should be in like the girl group and we're gonna be all of the web browsers, right? They're like, we're gonna be Google Chrome, we're going to be Safari, we did all the shebang. It was going to be a lot of fun. And even though those were like my boyfriend's girlfriends, I was like, okay, sure, why not? I can try it, even though I'm not close with them. The long story short is when we went to a bar, we didn't know that there was a costume contest, but it was based on the audience vote. And people would just go in and look at costumes and be like, I like Maui. And they would just vote for it, right? Um, Apparently I ended up winning that costume contest, but not as like the group. And even when I said, oh, I'm part of a group, let me go get the other girls. Again, we weren't very close, but I was like, let me go get the other girls. I was like, we're actually part of a group. And fortunately, which was super, super cool, but I felt bad for them. But they said, well, it wasn't a group vote. FyrF0x ended up winning. And I was like, well, the group though. And they were like, no, like you ended up winning. Basically, the long story short is this is again, not everyone's like this, just so you guys know. The long story short, and the reason why I don't get along with females too much sometimes with the pettiness, basically, I think they thought I entered myself into the costume competition by
Right.
myself. And I was like, screw them. Who are those people? I don't care. But not realizing that it was literally just like the bar's vote. You can't vote for yourself. It's impossible.
Right.
So,
So it was a little
yeah.
misunderstanding on their part. Well, good for them. I'm glad that they did that. Are you kidding me? Because look who's sitting here with me.
Yeah. And like foxes, it was kind of a cool coincidence that I was like, I claim FyrF0x anyway, because fox is like my favorite animal. I've always loved fire, and I love foxes. And yeah, anytime after that, when the guys were like, oh, I'm hanging out with my friend tonight, and they were like, are you hanging out with FyrF0x? It's FyrF0x, isn't it? And so every time after that, I kind of just owned that name instead of letting it own
No.
me and crying about it. I was like, you know what? Screw you. I am FyrF0x, and now it's my freaking brand. So thanks, ladies.
Hey, big shout out to the ladies. No, that's awesome. It takes a person a lot of courage to own something. And even if if it's negative, it's real hard to own that. And I think again, that is extremely awesome on your part. Now, let's move on to the other question. Tell us a little bit about what it is that you do as a streamer here on Twitch.
Yeah. So I'm kind of what we call it over on our channel. Why my community is called the Little Embers because fire and etc. And everyone, the embers fuel my fire for sure. So that's
That's
what
funny
we
because
call
that
it.
was going to be my next question was what do you
Oh
call your
no.
community? So that's awesome. Right
Well,
on.
surprise,
Big, big
surprise.
shout out to the
I
Embers.
knew that. I found the list before we went live, guys. I already know the questions. No, I'm just
You got me. You got me.
I'm
You
just
got
kidding. I'm just kidding.
me.
Yeah, like you got me. No, no, no. But yeah, so we call it the Little Embers. So there's that next question. The Little Embers, because really, as much as we do as streamers, because you do a whole ton. Also, you do like the most that I know, and that's you're freaking amazing for it.
Shh, not about me. Just about you. No, shh, leave me out of it.
Anyways, we really are only as like good as our communities. So like the support and the love and how much I love you as well. That's the last thing I say. I promise. I love you as well, Maui, for sure. But you know what I mean? So it's the the little embers, and I actually forgot my question because we
Your
were
question?
laughing.
No, I totally understand. Your question was, tell us a little bit about what is it that you do on Twitch.
Ah, so as you see in the Little Embers community, I kind of call myself like a mixed bag of chaos because we do play games here and there, we do community stuff here and there, but as you can tell from the first like 5 minutes of this stream, I'm primarily a just chatting streamer. Even when we play games, everyone has the expectations on my channel that even though we're playing games, it might take me an hour to get 5 minutes into the game because we're just like talking and chatting it up, and I like to be kind of the emotional support fox and hype man for everybody the best I can because you got this. Everybody's got this. It's a good
Okay.
time. It's a lot of hard work, but hard work pays off for sure.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
besides just chatting and talking, so what are your top 3 games you enjoy playing that people kind of underestimate?
Oh gosh. Everyone's gonna roll their eyes at me. If I have to choose, I'm pretty sure the most played game that we do is Fortnite.
So Fortnite, okay, so that's one. So we have Fortnite. Hey, there's nothing. Look, I can't play it. So anyone who can, you're a superstar in my eyes. So Fortnite.
I always laugh because like I have too many like super pro gamer shooters, and like I mean they don't like judge me for it, but I laugh because they're like the real games. They're like, come on, you got to get on Apex with us. You got to play you got to get on COD with us. You got to do all those things, and I'm like, I want the goofy characters and the laughter. So I was like, that's where I'm at. So we do a
Right.
lot of that. I'm pretty known, I guess. What I'm more known for, if you think of the gaming, is Tetris. I am a I guess technically, I mean, if you're getting paid for it, I can say I'm a semi-pro Tetris player. I do play in some Tetris tournaments
Oh
sometimes because I
wow.
have known to win a little bit of money. Not a lot of money, guys. We're talking like $20 or like a free game. You know what I mean? But
Right.
it's
Hey,
still
hey,
fun.
a win is a win. Are you kidding me? $20
Right?
or a free game, girl.
Exactly.
The prices out there
Yeah.
for buying games.
Yeah,
Yo, it's
yeah.
awesome.
So, and more specifically than Tetris, Tetris Connect is where it's at because it's like vibey. It's more of a solo kind of playing instead of like a competitive thing. And I think you've seen it before, Key, but it's just so vibey and pretty,
Yeah.
and the music. It's a mesmerizing. I call it Tetris Zen. It's like a mesmerizing, like Tetris Zen, relaxed kind of
Hey,
Tetris.
I be lurking in your channel when you play it. It's a really nice
Okay.
thing, and the way that you put it all together. All right. So now I wanna pivot just a little bit and we'll come back. So
For sure.
we know, well, I'm gonna touch on the thing you said a little bit earlier about that's the community that, community does, help out, and it's about the community. How would you best describe your community? Like how would you sum them up? And I would love some honorable mentionables in your group.
How would I summon them up? I think the biggest one with me, because I'm such a scroll brain and I talk too much, I would summon them up as probably the most patient community I've ever heard. Because I do know sometimes, obviously with streaming, people stream and like people a lot of times will also be in there to like watch games or like keep up with chat. And sometimes I can't even like keep up with chat. And like I try my best. And then, like I said, with the game, sometimes we game and I get distracted because I'm talking to chat or vice versa. So I guess the biggest thing is I would call them super patient, um, super. I told you I'm the emotional support fox and I like to hype everyone up. They hype me up a whole ton. Like I said, I would be absolutely nothing without them. You know this too, Key, but I get very, very hard on myself for stupid little things. And you're actually one of them. You're one of the ones that are like, hey, stop it, stop that. And I'm
All
like,
right, all
yes,
right,
yes.
all
Oh, okay, okay.
right. No, no, continue. No, I'm giving you shit. No, no,
No,
you're
for sure, for
perfectly
sure.
fine. You're perfect.
Yeah.
Don't worry. How about this?
But
I'll promise you
yeah.
this
Yeah,
in
sure.
this during this whole thing that we're doing right now, I'll give you a moment that you can definitely talk about me because I'll let you do that. So just hold it all in until that moment. Then I will let you fire off about us. Okay. So that way you can give it to
But
him.
just so you know, okay, I'll give you more honorable mentions, which are 1,000% my moderators, which are the two big moderators are C Silverstone and Prince Dilly. But like I said, you are one of those honorable mentions. I'm not cheating because I'm on his stream, guys. Like,
You're fine.
Maui is one of the best people I know. So you are genuinely. I'm not. I promise I'm not cheating. I mean that genuinely. So
You're worried. You're good. You're
also
good.
been known to smack me on the head and be like, knock that off. And I'll be like,
Yeah. You
you're
got
right.
to do
You're
that
right. You're right.
sometimes. Okay.
Yeah. So
All
yeah, so
right.
I said if I had to choose one word, I'd say patient.
Okay.
Everyone's patient with me and I really, really appreciate it. And fun and silly.
Okay.
That's the
Let me
last
ask you
word for
this.
it.
How long have you been streaming as a live streamer, just in general? How long have you been doing this?
I am on my third year. In October, it will be my 3 year. Yeah. So I'm on my third year now. So 2.5 years, I would
Okay.
say.
So I
I
guess
stream for a little bit. Yeah.
you stream for a little bit. Do you have a set schedule at all, or is it just kind of, hey, I'm gonna jump
Oh,
on and I'm gonna let my community know, or do you kind
yeah.
of have a set schedule?
It's kind of that. I try to like have a schedule, but also I have so many like life is crazy. Basically, the long story short of that part too is whenever I started streaming, I didn't think I thought it would literally just be like a quick one and done. You know what I mean? I was gonna stream a game for an hour and be like, that was fun, much love, goodbye, right? And I didn't think I would make all these relationships like you on Twitch, so I didn't think that I was going to make all these relationships on Twitch. So honestly, when I first started streaming, and I'm trying to get better, but when I first started streaming 2.5 years ago, I actually had no idea that I would need this much time for streaming because I didn't think I was going to build all these really badass relationships. And like, now I'm like, I keep missing streams and like I don't really have a schedule because I am a bowling coach and then I have my full-time job and etc. So it's a little crazy. It's a little crazy.
Okay.
I guess the one set thing that I do is usually either on like on the weekends we do a slumber party stream. So either on Friday or Saturdays, I'll usually try to rock out like a 12-hour ish, depending on how tired we get, but a 12-hour ish slumber party stream. And if I were to say about a schedule, I think that's the one like again, I say solid scheduled day, but again, we never know depending on my schedule if that's Friday or Saturday. But weekend slumber parties, that's where it's at. That's where the money's
Yeah.
at.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the longest
Yeah.
you've ever streamed?
Oh God. Oh wow. I think the longest I've ever streamed was a little over 48 hours. Cause what I no, it was 72 hours. It was a little over 72. And the reason why was because it was starting on my 2 year anniversary in October. What I said was every year, like to celebrate the new year of streaming. I don't know how long I'm going to keep this up, but every year to celebrate the new year of streaming, I was going to stream for that many days of what year we're celebrating. So since we were on the third year, I technically streamed for 72 hours. And then
I'm so taking
we'll
that from
see
you.
how
I'm
things went.
taking that from
Oh,
you,
look,
and
do it. Do
and
it.
I need to break your record. I'm saying it now on record.
Uh-oh.
I need to beat 72
Mm,
hours because no, that's nope. Don't like that. Don't like that.
nope. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Yeah, I was like, I think that's the longest. That's not a regular thing. Nobody get
Right.
excited. I'm not gonna freaking stream 72 hours every single time. But it was a fun thing to do. To like I said, to celebrate the third year that we're coming up on. So the third year, was 3 days. So we did 72 hours, which was a lot of fun.
No, that's
Yeah, it was very
awesome.
tiring, but it was a lot of fun.
Nah, you're built for it. I'll be watching you. You're built for that. All right, let's talk to the beginning you, right? Let's say the first week of you. If you could go back in time and tell your younger self, hey, you can give yourself some tips, what would they be? I think a cheap shot would be, can you just give me one thing you tell yourself? We know as streamers there's layers to this job, right? So what are some things that you could tell yourself right at the beginning that you realize now? What would that be?
I would say not to stop. and not to give up. I know that sounds like two things, but I think that's the thing that it sounds like two separate things, but literally in one giant thing. Don't stop and don't give up, especially in the beginning, especially in the first year. Because even if you take someone who's like 10 times more confident than me, 10 times more content to throw out, 10 times more of a professional gamer, etc. Like, say, if you take the pros, I actually had this conversation on YouTube because I've tried to expand a little bit. On YouTube the other day, we actually had this conversation about like, don't give up. Don't be hard on yourself. Everybody that you admire who's all the way up there, everybody who's up there has been a noob at some point, and everybody has started with either one or zero people in their stream where you're talking to no one or playing a game to no one, and that might be for months at a time. And even still, even with like a little bit of a higher average, I still have times when, like, sure, people are lurking, but there are still times that I'm talking to myself, which is perfectly fine because I'm used to it now. But I think that's the biggest advice, because I definitely, if I gave up when I wanted to give up, which is really early on, probably like 3 streams where I said, "What's the point? There's no one here," we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. And,
Right.
I feel like all streamers have dealt with that, especially, like I said, in the first year. And I'm cheating by giving a second answer, but the second biggest answer that I will always, always, always tell people is not to you can't compare journeys. Everybody's journeys are the same, because there were even, I know people want to say, "Wow, Fox grew super fast. What happened? Oh my goodness!" Like, that's amazing. That's super great. I have many, many streamers that I started at the same time as, maybe even a little bit before them. And two of those 3 streamers are actually partner now. And the thing is like, I can beat myself up as much as I want and be like, "What the heck? We started at the same time. What's going on?" They also have the extra time to stay home. They work remote, you know what I mean? And like, they have the extra time to put as much time and effort into their streams as they do. So like, whatever I do, they have the extra time to do that times 10, with the more flexibility to be streaming every single day, with the more flexibility to work and grow on their streams all the time. So it's like, stuff like that. I think the biggest advice is not to give up when there's no one there, because you like, no one, people aren't going to come from nowhere. You meet through like talking to people, and that's how you're going to make your friends. And then, like I said, the second biggest one is you can't compare journeys, because everybody's story is completely different. People have more free time and abilities to do things for different reasons, and some people have families, some people don't, some people have
Right.
full-time jobs, etc. Some people don't. So
Okay.
you gotta let your own journey be your own journey at whatever pace it may go,
Okay.
whatever. So yeah.
And for you, so just to be just a smidge, kind of diving into like outside of streaming,
Yeah.
I know of a gentleman by the name of Mr. Fox. Now, could you tell me a little bit about him? Like, who is Mr. Fox, and how do you balance Mr. Fox with you being a streamer?
And I think that's also partially why, because with me personally, I also, Mr. Fox works late a lot of the times. So I think that also like helps me as well, because like I very much spend a ton of time with him, which is another reason why sometimes I'm like, so busy. Like, even if I'm not in streams, even if I'm not working, even if I'm not doing other things, I very much, um don't slap me. Another example with you, another example with you, like, when we've hung out, I'm very much like kind of like an in the moment, and I'm not one of those like, yeah, uh-huh, yeah, right,
Yep.
uh-huh. And like, even though we live together and even though I see him all the time, I'm not really good at like social media everywhere, because I'm spending time with him most of the time. So that's kind of trickles back to the question of like why I don't have a schedule and why I'm so whimsical. Um, but other than that, I mean, a lot of times, like, Mr. Fox actually streams with us, and then we'll do a lot of the fork knifing that I always talk about. We've
Right.
been playing a lot of like Fork Knife Festival. Yes, that's what I call it. Also,
he,
fun side note, I've said that so many times through text message that it thinks that's an actual word in my phone now. So when I say Fortnite, it like autocorrects it. It's like, you meant fork knife. You totally did.
no, you
And I'm
did
like,
you did mean that. What are you talking about? You train
yeah.
the hell out of that phone.
What do you mean? I don't even know what you're talking. the phone's like, I got you. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
I've noticed something in your background that I'm rather interested in. I see a little fur baby. No, no, okay. Everyone knows you stole that from Doctor Strange. We know that. That's fine.
Oh yeah.
If he's never wanted to take it back, it's because we know it chose you, and we understand that. No, no, no. I'm talking about
Cloak chooses the sorcerer, guys, for sure. Yeah.
there's a little guy, right? Who's the little baby?
So cute. That's Leon. That's one of the pups. The other pup is, well, he was here. I think he went downstairs. I don't know where he went. Yeah, we have a Corgo and a Chihuahua. This is Leon.
I'm sorry, a Chihuahua?
A Corgo and a Chihuahua. I'm just kidding. We have a Corgi and a Chihuahua.
Oh, got it. I got it.
I know,
Okay.
like
Wait a minute. So a designer puppy. Have you
What are you talking about?
Have you ever incorporated your fur babies in your stream?
Yeah, sometimes I feel bad. Unless Mr. Fox is home, sometimes Titus is just out of control. So the corgi sometimes is locked out of the room just because he has no chill, and like he just gets really excited and he just doesn't stop barking. And dogs barking is fine, but this motherfucker has like the most high pitched, like glass shattering, like I'm like, stop. Like I can like turn the microphone down completely and you guys will still like
They'll still hear him. Oh, poor baby.
So out of respect for everybody, unless Mr. Fox is here to be like, knock your shit off, like he's usually outside. But yeah, this is actually usually where I have this again, unless Mr. Fox is home, because he's definitely a daddy's boy. He will hang out up here with us, but for hours and hours and hours. But as soon as Mr. Fox comes home, he dips. So, but
right.
Yeah, this little couch here is specifically for him, as you can see. I don't know.
No, I could see him. I was wondering. I was like, oh, look at that. All right, so
he like curls up into a little ball.
Let me ask you. This is going to be a two-parter, and you just be completely honest. So, what has been the most memorable moment as a streamer while you were live, and the worst moment you've had while live? And how did you handle those situations? And then I have a follow-up question about that.
Okay. Which one do you want first?
Either or that you're comfortable with.
Let me think, because of course, with the best moment, I know that's like the most tacky thing to say, but it's hard to find a good moment because there've been so many where I've been like completely broken. And like, um, I would say, and okay, no, I do have a moment. So this is the time. Don't get mad at me. This is the time that I hung out with you and whenever.
You're good. You're good.
I know.
You're good. You're good. Good.
But as you know, that was when like I had kind of my Vegas trip moments, right? So it was that, and then at that point, I was kind of out of wits end because at that point I had kind of gotten laid off from my job. I was dealing with that stress. After the Vegas moments, I was obviously applying for like a million jobs, but like nobody was hiring, and I was jobless for probably 2 months, maybe almost 3 months, which was very frustrating. I know we've all like been there and dealt with it. Um, so what's really cool, the reason why this moment is the most special to me, and I think it's actually a saved moment on Twitch when that was a thing. They don't have moments anymore, but it's a saved moment. Um, I wasn't sure if I was going to stream. And there were two parts to this story. I wasn't sure if I was going to stream because I was really depressed, and everyone's like, "We miss you. We need to hang out." And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know, guys. Maybe. I'm not sure." And Mr. Fox was so adamant. He was texting me, and he's usually like very supportive and like, "You do you, right?" But he was like, "No, you have to stream." And I'm like, "Well, maybe when you get home. I'm not sure." He's like, "No, you have to." And I was like, "Why?" And he goes, "You'll see. You just have to stream." And I'm like, "Okay." And he goes, "Well, wait. Don't stream yet. Wait till I get home." And I'm like, okay, like I was like, what's going on? So and then again he switched it again, was like, go ahead and start streaming. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So the cool thing is what happened was he actually, I'm gonna get emotional, he actually bought this microphone for me. And I was like stressed and emotional because first of all, like, I mean, I know it's not, money's fine and etc. But I was like, you can't buy me gifts right now. I was like, I don't have a job. I was like, I don't deserve it.
Right.
Like, what do you mean? it's not like this is crazy expensive, but I was like, you cannot buy me like stream equipment because I don't have like I need to do it, and if I can't do it, etc. Anyways, so that kind of made me feel better. It was very emotional, but so I streamed. I opened this. Was like, hey guys, we're gonna do this next time. I'm not using it right now, but whatever. But the cool part was for not wanting to stream. And mind you, Mr. Fox doesn't use Twitch really. Like he usually will be on the side watching you, for instance, when we're talking, and you know how this goes when he's like,
Yeah.
tell him I said this. And I'm like, you tell him you said that. Get into the freaking chat.
Yeah,
Stop
like
being
don't nobody
yeah.
gets to do side barking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I'm like, stop it. You tell him. And he's like, oh, I don't know nothing about that. And I'm like, oh my god. So it's not like he announced this or told everybody, but honestly, in that stream where I didn't want to stream and where he bought me a microphone, we were just playing Tetris DJ. And for some reason that day, everybody decided that that was the day they wanted to blow me up. And I think that was like the highest hype train I've ever had. I was completely emotional. And what was really neat is it was a coincidence. Like I said, Mr. Fox didn't say this to anybody, but like it was a coincidence that every single time I finally calmed down. I was like, okay, you guys are killing me. Oh my god, knock it off, please. Holy crap. We would continue with the game, and then I would get freaking raided. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And like I just it was one of the best and most emotional like streams that I've ever had. And I think at that point, I think I ended up doing it. That was one of my first 24-hour streams for like no reason, just because I couldn't leave and we were all like hanging out. And I was like, okay, well, we did it. I was like, we did a 24-hour stream. Thanks, guys. And again, to tie into the first or second question about the advice for stream about not giving up. And even if it feels like it's nothing, like keep going, because if
Yeah.
I didn't stream that day, that would
Correct.
have been my answer right now. So I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Sometimes as a streamer, you just got to do it. Sometimes, it's still a
yeah,
job. In my eyes, I think it's a great job. Even, what
yeah,
it's like being a streamer when you have a good supportive community. It's like
yeah.
being like someone who works in a job that may not pay. You know what I mean? Like some jobs out there don't pay, but the benefits of working with people and being there for people outweighs that paycheck. And that's
Yeah, there's
usually,
like the payoff. Yeah,
yeah, my driving
yeah.
force is when I stream, it's people need you there, even if it's
Mhm.
one person. Sometimes it's a struggle, but yeah. All right. So now we've got one of the happiest moments. And again, I've watched you. I witness a lot of things. What's the worst thing that you could say was the worst thing you've ever experienced? And how did you handle it while live?
Oh, oh boy. I think the worst thing, the worst thing I've ever dealt with. And luckily I've been super blessed to where it wasn't something like it wasn't anything like crazy horrible. Like it wasn't like a huge fight or anything, or there was just this is frustrating to me. This is always a big deal to me because like I think it's a big deal. But somebody basically, I think they misunderstood where I was coming from about something, and we kind of had like a disconnect. And I think they thought I was like attacking them, and I was trying to explain. I was like, because I don't know how to explain it. They weren't necessarily complaining, but they were a regular member that, for lack of a better term, weren't complaining, but they always, even though they enjoyed hanging out and even though they loved the games and the talking, and they were a pretty regular for the community, they would always find something to be like, this music sucks. Like, oh man, your hair's like so frizzy today, or like, etc. You know what I mean? And I know, and also to be fair, this is why we also have to be patient with people on Twitch. I'm pretty sure this friend had Tourette's, so I don't think it was also a necessary whatever. I think it was just a tick that they had, and it wasn't horrible things, but what hurt my feelings was I very much like tried to handle it, and I said, "Hey babe, like I really appreciate it." I was like, maybe um if you can't say anything nice, just like don't say it, like also for my sake, because I'm a sensitive baby. I was like, I understand that might be out of your control. I understand that you're not trying to hurt me. You're just, I don't know, you're just making comments, and maybe you're not trying to hurt me. For
Right.
my sake, yeah. And I was like, for my sake and personal anxiety, I was like, please don't do that here. Because if you keep saying things that you don't like, I'm just going to assume that I suck and I'm just never going to stream again. And basically, they were like, you don't have to come at me in front of everybody. I said, okay, well, hang on a second. And like, I also like was like kind of very chill about it. And a couple people, and that was the only like escalation really, because a couple people, you've kind of experienced this too. I was there to protect you as well, but like a couple people were kind of going at that person. I said, okay, everyone chill out. Like, I'm not that bothered. I just am trying to communicate. And they said, if you don't like me here, why don't you freaking ban me and kick me out and blah, blah, blah. And I said, here's the thing. I was like, if I didn't want you here, we wouldn't be having this conversation, because
Right.
I would genuinely be like, you're an asshole, go fuck yourself, bye, which I've done before too.
Right.
And I still said that. And what hurt my feelings beyond this is like, I thought I handled it well. Everyone told me they handled it well. They were like, it's nice that you were also protecting that person and telling chat to leave them alone. Cause I was like, we're just figuring it out. It's fine. Like, there's nothing horrible. We're just figuring it out. Um, and they were like, well, fine. I guess I can't fucking say anything then. And that's the last time I ever talked to them.
Yeah.
And it's
Y-
still it's okay, it's fine, because like, you can't force everyone to enjoy or like, connect. And if that person was that uncomfortable with me as well, like, yes, please, if you need to, like, if we're not going to be friends again, that's fine, because even if it's an accident on my end, I don't want them to be uncomfortable. So clearly there was a disconnect, and they also weren't comfortable in my stream anymore. So I was like, okay, well, I wish you the best, I love you, I hope you're doing well, but I don't know. That was probably the most difficult. And it wasn't anything huge, but I don't like that. As patient as I'm not perfect, obviously, but as patient as I can be like super, super patient. And when people want to twist it and be like, wow, like Fox is just attacking people in her channel, I'm
yeah.
like, is that what happened here? Are those the words that came out of my mouth? Or was I trying to be as gentle as I could when I could have just given you the middle finger and been like, goodbye now? Like,
You can't please everybody. You just can't do it. Yeah. You
you
just
can't
can't.
say that.
It is what it
Yeah, for
is.
sure, for sure.
So
Yeah,
let me ask you
exactly.
this. So
So
you're pretty transparent as a streamer, am I correct? Like if you're feeling it, you're whatever mood, you're able to express that. Do you do you feel that every streamer should be like that, or it should be like a case by case for people who want to express their feelings? Like how would you approach that
I
if there was someone, let's say, a little bit more invested in their feelings and they're really scared to be vulnerable live? How would you let them know it's okay? Because you've seen me, I've one way or the other been emotional as a streamer, and I
right,
have no
yeah,
problem doing
yeah,
it.
for sure. Yeah, right. So your question, you mean like letting them know it's okay to be transparent in chat,
Yeah,
or
just in
what do you
general,
mean?
like
Or
if someone's like, well, I cry or I get angry, I don't know if that's a good thing. Like, how would you talk to them?
the best way that I've always explained it is that I feel like it's so funny, because I know like Twitch, it's such a fun platform, right? Like, we're just having fun, we're just fucking around, as we shall say. You know what I mean? Like, things 18 plus, etc. It's about gaming and fun and all of this stuff. I my advice to everyone is always just trying to still, even with like curse words and adult jokes and etc., like, we do all of that, but still also, which I think you do really well, is keeping it still like professional. Like, we're goofy and we're whatever, but we're professional. So I think finding that, it's hard to do, but like finding that happy middle of being completely honest and transparent, but without being like, I guess, to the example of the previous question and that previous moment that I had, I do know many streamers that like they won't even take the time of day. They'll just be like, "Go fuck yourself, see ya." You know what I mean? And
Right.
it's like, I mean, I know you're protecting yourself, but also, like I said about being patient and understanding, especially behind the screen, you don't know what mental illness is going on there. You don't know what trauma they're dealing with. You don't know what kind of day they were having.
Right. And
So
then you become, it's weird because sometimes you'll end up becoming their punching bag and then you just got to kind of
mhm,
work it out. And then they'll go, you know what? My bad. Hey,
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah,
happens. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So
So
stuff like that. I
we're going to
mean,
use a little imagination. Okay. You're on a panel
okay.
at TwitchCon. Okay. Which for some reason you need to go, but whatever. We'll talk about that another time.
I
All
know
right. So
you're
you're
leaving
on the
it to the
panel.
stream.
You're on the panel. Everyone's there to see you, community, new people, everything. and they're going to ask you several questions, and I'm there, and I've noticed there's a young impressionable person, we'll say 21, and they come up to the microphone and they're going to ask you one question, and that question is, what are some of the things starting off that are truly important in order to continue streaming? I'm going to start. What are some advice that you could give me that I'm going to go? What are some highlights, or what are things, what are the key things that are going to work?
About like starting out streaming.
The whole shebang. Just like, okay, I'm going to turn on Twitch. What are some of the little tips that you could give this impressionable person? Just something simple that they may have overlooked, or they might overlook, or it's like, wow, that is
Yeah.
simple. Something along those lines.
I think the biggest thing that I would say is still connecting to the community is a big one. Because I mean I do get it, because like there are obviously streamers that just play games and they're like, yo, what's up? And then they continue to play games, which is perfect because people also do love that. You know what I mean? Sometimes people don't want to talk in chat. They literally just want to watch the games and the pro gaming and the tips and etc. But my biggest thing I think as advice is just, like I said, that's how you grow the community, is just to connect and just ge- to genuinely care, to genuinely give a shit. I'm not saying you have to have a whole conversation with every single person that's in there, but I really much try to treat all social media. I mean, kind of. I'm bad at social media, but like with Twitch, for instance, like with Twitch and other social medias, I still try to treat everything, even though it's social media online, I still try to treat it like a normal conversation in person. So if I'm playing a game and you come up to me, and maybe you don't want a full conversation, but maybe you come up to me and you say, "Hey, how's your night going?" And I'm just playing a game and I'm like, "Hey, Key," and I just continue going, like it's like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, like the person, like I said, it's just actually the in real life, if you were to come into the bedroom and be like, "Hey, what's up?" and then be like, "Hey, later," and then like not say anything, you would probably be like, "Okay, okay, bye," and you would
Yeah.
probably leave the room and be like, "I don't want to bother her." So again, basically that. Maybe not. I'm not saying you need to have a full 20-minute conversation. Be like, "Yo, like, do you have any fun plans this weekend? Like, what's going on? Like, cool." And like, and then they're like, because I've actually had people say that when they've come in on raids. I've actually had people say that where I'm like, "Yo," I was like, "What are you up to? What are you doing this weekend? I like that your name is purple. Why is it purple? Is that your favorite color?" And people are like, "Are you
Yeah.
talking to me?" And I'm like, Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I'm talking to you." I was like, "I like your purple name. Like, what's up, Iris? How are you doing?" And they're like, "I'm having a good night. Thank you for asking." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, of course." And I was like, so just little things like that, just
Okay.
treating it like a normal conversation. I know it's online and I know it's behind tubers, behind my PNG tuber. I know sometimes I don't even have my camera on. I know it's all like behind the scenes, but just genuinely caring and having a conversation with another human being that is talking to you, not just come over here and watch me. It's like, no, let's like, how are you? Like, what's going on? So,
Okay.
oh,
Yeah. Go ahead.
sorry to, I was like, actually, what it reminds me of is like, it kind of reminds me of like, in real life, one of my pet peeves, I don't like that "how are you" in quotations is just like a hello kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I hate when you're talking to someone, customer service, whatever, if you're like a server, if you're like professional, if you're whatever, and you say, "Hey, how are you doing today, Key?" And like say someone's like, that's a bad example because you talk to me, but like if I say, "Hey, David, like how are you doing today?" and David's like, "Hey, how are you? Can I get a large coffee?" And I'm like, so like the "how are you" was completely meaningless, and there was no reason to even waste your time saying that. You could have just been like, "Hi, may I have a large coffee?" Why waste your time asking how I'm doing if you actually don't give a shit? So I guess the keyword for all of those is just be genuine. If you're going to have a
Okay.
conversation with a human being, just be genuine about it. That's all.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you this: out of these two words, which one is cringe? Moist or sopping?
I guess moist because I reacted.
Fair enough. All right. So without giving out any names, because I know
Yeah.
you, because I know you, without giving out any
Yeah.
names,
Okay.
what are some of the most interesting things that you love watching, like your favorite streamers? What's the few of the things that you enjoy that they do that you're like, man, that's the business. because there's going to be another side of this question in a moment.
Okay. Let me see. What are things that I enjoy that they do? I think, oh man, I don't mean to like repeat myself, but just like interacting with chat. Because I mean, like I said with the other question, that yes, that's fine because a lot of people do want that sometimes, just the gaming without the conversation. Like I know a lot of people like stream that and a lot of people like watching that. But I think, like I said, I still think that's like the biggest thing is just watching people have conversations and actually giving a shit. I know it sounds like a broken record, but
No, it's a great theme actually.
yeah.
Now I'm going to take that theme away from you. We're going to take out
Oh,
interaction. We're going to take that out
oh, oh.
without dropping names because normally sometimes I'll ask certain streamers, um, who are your favorite streamers, who are your worst favorite. But for you, what are some of the things that you hate other streamers do? We're not, like I said, we're for you, no names. So what are
Yeah.
some of the things that you hate that they do that you're just like, I can't. This is trash. What are some of those things? But we're gonna take out interaction.
Interaction. Oh, without interaction.
Correct. Like you
Mm.
were like, I'm out.
Okay.
Like I'm out. I can't. I'm unfollow or I can't be a part of this. Like that is just. What are you doing?
Okay. This is gonna sound so like super kind of Disney princessy tacky. You know how I always say that? I'm always like, sorry, I'm being like a Disney princess right now. But
Right.
um, I think, and just so everybody knows here, I'm not like saying this is always bad because we all like to talk about, actually, like we all like to talk about, like, for instance, like movies we like. That Twitch is a nerdy thing. Movies we like, shows we've seen, blah blah blah. I don't like the condescending shit talking about things that people don't like that other people might. Because even with like lurking, you know what I mean, is like a lurker, because like you said, this is without interaction. But and everyone's allowed their different opinions, of course. Like, for instance, a fun example, people felt really bad telling me that they didn't like Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness, and they were like, I'm so sorry, I didn't like it. And I was like, I don't care. I was like, you're great. I was like, tell me why you didn't like it. I love the conversation. But like, for instance, with that, but like, and there were certain things that like, oh God, I can't think of an example because I freaking love everything because I'm a psycho. But stuff like that, like being condescending as opposed to just being like, it wasn't my thing, I didn't like it, but being condescending and being like, anyone who likes Doctor Strange is a freaking schmuck. They're losers, stuff like that. Like,
Okay.
yeah, like even though you're not like interacting, you're already talking shit about something that someone else likes. And there is, obviously having deferred and different opinions is like the glory of being a nerd and talking about things. Cause I love, people get scared to tell me they don't like something I like. And I'm like, no, tell me why. I was like, I love
Yeah.
hearing like all of it, like why we agree and
So
why
you
we
hate when
split.
so you hate when they shame people just
Yeah,
because
the shaming.
you can't agree. So yeah, shaming's pretty bad.
Yeah, and like I
So
said, but like having the different opinions is fine, but being like, "Ugh, anyone who loves X-Men, like what a freaking loser. Like you're don't at me. You're a loser if you don't like it." And then people are like, "Oh, well, I mean,
yeah, that's
I don't like
horrible.
it.
That is
That's fine. No, like
that's
it's okay that you don't
trash.
like it." Yeah,
That's
exactly. But to tell somebody that they're trash or do whatever because they don't like the same things is that's trash.
yeah.
So you're
Okay.
trash if you talk trash, you understand? I'm just kidding. Oh.
All right, so I'm gonna give you the floor, and I'm gonna let you do the thing that you. Oh, before we do that,
Okay.
why did you start tubing? By the way, I've caught you tubing a few
Oh.
times. How did that come about, and how did you
Oh.
choose your theme?
You just made me emotional bringing that up. I love you so much. This is why I
Oh,
love you.
I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna do it too.
So this is the little Asian heart. It's like the little finger heart.
Oh, I do
If you
like
do like a finger
Asian
heart.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, if you do like a little finger heart. That's funny. A fun side note, they added that little emote on Fortnite and it made me laugh because I can just do that now and be like, and like in the game, my character's like, and everyone's like, oh my goodness.
That's
But they made that
awesome.
just for me. Sorry, not sorry, guys. They put that there for me. Just saying. Um, so it's kind of it's kind of ironic because with the whole conversation about, like I said, just communicating with everyone and talking instead of only wanting to play games. Because I'm not established on YouTube, basically what I'm doing is there were some games that people have been begging me to play, because big story games that I love so much, I actually don't stream those because, like I said, I'm set up as primarily just chatting streamer. So even though I know people will understand, I'm not getting the full experience of the game because either A, I'm getting distracted by chat and I miss something and I'm like, what the hell just happened? I should be crying right now. Like, why is this person crying? Who died? What's going on? Um,
Right.
or or vice versa, because I'm set up as a primarily just chatting streamer. if i if I forget about chat for a minute and I'm only playing the game, I know people don't expect me to keep up with chat if I'm like immersed in a game because that's part of Twitch, but like for me personally, I feel bad when I'm neglecting chat, or vice versa when I'm not focusing on the game because I'm talking too much. So because I'm not established on YouTube, I've been using that opportunity to play the games that everyone wants me to play but without distraction. And basically, I stream it on YouTube, and there is still kind of chat, but there it's set up there that YouTube is the just gaming platform of the Little Embers community, and then
Yeah.
Twitch is the just chatting part of it. So, um, what I was doing with the first two videos, I just pre-recorded it and posted it. But then obviously the more I thought about that, I was like, man, I don't really have an extended hard drive, and that's 3 or 4 hour videos may or may not get wonky, you know what I mean? So that's a lot, and that's a lot of storage on the computer. So I was like, well, I'll just go live and I'll do the same thing. Maybe I'll glance at chat every once in a while and be like, hey, I see you, but like it's not like Twitch where I'm
Right.
talking to everybody. And I ideally still record it as if I'm not live streaming. I just record it. And then it's just already live and then it's just already on YouTube. So, and then if anyone wants to watch it, if they're bored and they're like, even though she's not talking, if they want to watch it and they're like, oh shit, she's at my favorite part, I need to see how she handles this, then
Right.
etc. So, yeah.
Okay. Um, that's a great response to the question. I think I said no, I think I said it wrong. Is it a PNG tuber? The character you play when you're not on camera.
Yeah.
Is that what
People
that
want a
is?
PNG.
Yeah, so when I said tuber, I thought that was the slang because I'm old
Oh,
for you being the character, and I was like, how did you choose your theme? But going into the YouTube chat tangent, even look, hey, you're making my job easy. So we're gonna double back to the character you play when you're not on camera. Where did that come from, and how did you start doing it? Why did you start using the character?
so amazing. Excuse me as I exit because I don't listen to questions.
No, you're hey, it's perfectly it's awesome. No, you're good. No, you're good.
Okay. Regarding the tuber, then, geez, the point of the tuber was because there are times that, like you said, I like to be pretty transparent, and most of the time, if I'm not feeling streaming, if I had like a really shitty day, or if I'm emotional about things, or if I have like other things going on, I just wouldn't stream because I'm like, I I'm not a bad I'm not a good liar. I like to be transparent, like you said, and I know nobody expects me to, but if I'm not smiling and this usual like goofy self, I'm not going to stream. Like I was like, I know that's what people love about me. I know they don't expect it 100% of the time, but um and just like the professional smiling, like I know like people, I know that sounds horrible, not expected to smile all the time, but if I can't smile, I'm not going to stream. So the tuber came about that way because that was a way I could continue to stream on days that I'm not really feeling like the hi kind of
Right.
thing, and like my tuber kind of does it for me because my energy's still there, but maybe like my human shell isn't like, but maybe I'm fine, but maybe I'm just like
Okay, so
whatever,
you
so
like to utilize it um you like to utilize it as a way of saying, okay, I'm here, but at the same time I can't be present, but I want to be here. So you use it as
exactly.
you use it in a good way to make sure that you're still there for your community, but at the same time, if you're not feeling your best, you're still able to do your thing.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
Because I appreciate that. And by the way, let me so how did you choose your theme for your character? Let's go with that, and then I'm gonna thank you for what you did for me.
Oh yeah. Well, mostly just like the Moana thing. For anybody who doesn't know, I have go-to cosplays that I do as well. I do like a lot of costumes on Halloween. And I do a lot of cosplays whenever Comic Con runs around. I didn't get to go last year, but hopefully we'll be there for this year. Moana is one of the go-tos, and then Rufio from Hook. Those are my two like go-to. And I guess now this was an accident, but it was only for Halloween. But people love it so much that my alligator Loki is another go-to that I'm known for.
I seen
Um,
that. It looks
yeah.
amazing on you.
So, fun fact, actually, so the Moana is because that was like just my usual getup that people are used to. And it honestly kind of went by a vote too. So I actually may or may not have more styles coming, and those are also by another vote. So we'll see which one is coming next. But yeah, Moana because that's just the most me out of all of the cosplays that I do. I am literally kind of Moana. So
Okay. What's
hi.
the so I know you're a Disney girl. What's the best Disney movie that gets you every time? What's that
Uh,
Disney? And it has to be the cartoons. None of that live
well,
action
oh,
or
for sure. Oh
yeah.
yeah, none of that. If you guys watch the live actions, no, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But what's the
If you
one
guys
that
watch,
what's the
okay, sorry.
movie that gets you like, I'm gonna watch it, but I know how this is gonna end.
Mm. Well, there are two movies that come to mind immediately that kind of break me. Don't at me on this, guys. There's a reason for it, okay? It's not just because, but Frozen 2 actually breaks me every single time. There is a happy ending, but Frozen 2 breaks me every single time. And don't at me, it's not because oh my god, Elsa's the best. Like it is like that, but it's not like that. I feel like I can relate to Elsa on like a deeper level of somehow being I'm one of the most insecure, confident people you ever meet. And I'm also one of the most confidently anxious, insecure people. You know what I mean? Whichever way you want to
Of
spin
course.
that. And I feel like that's how I can relate to with Elsa because Elsa's like this holy crap, like amazing, like whatever. Everyone thinks she's like so great, but she's so broken. You know what I mean? And like there's just like so much that she's still figuring out about like herself, which is the journey we go on in Frozen 2. That's my tattoo right here. That's actually what this is from. Because that's at the end of the movie, it's basically the whole show yourself, and that's kind of when she discovers like who she is and that she needs to like let herself just be like who she
Right.
is and etc. So that's one that breaks me. And then the second one actually is Encanto. I don't know if you guys have seen Encanto, but Encanto is one of I can also kind of I don't want to say sadly, but like for lack of a better term, I can sadly relate on a deeper level to Maribel as well about being kind of like the black sheep of the family, not for like any bad ways. Like it's not like my family like treats me any certain way. Like family's great, family's amazing, but just being kind of yeah,
No, I get
like
it.
a little
No, that's
oddball
awesome.
and yeah,
Okay.
and trying to take care of everybody in the family, but also not knowing like exactly how to do that. But feeling the responsibility as like the older cousin of the family and feeling like I'm failing a lot of the time. So I can relate to Maribel on that sense and Encanto. So both of those movies break the shit out of me. So
All right. At the beginning of this interview, before we started recording, I asked you to pick a number between 10 and 20, and you chose 13. These are going to be 13 questions I'm going to rapidly fire at you to get to know you.
okay.
All
All
right.
right.
Be extremely honest. And if
Oh
you
my god,
get
my
emotional, get
squeaky wheel.
emotional. All
Oh
right.
no.
Yeah, so
Wait,
I've
before you
got
go to
I got
finish, just
I
like
got 13 right here, okay? I'll let you
oh,
pick. All right, here we go.
okay.
All right, this is going to be a little morbid.
I'm scared. I'm
When was your
scared.
first car accident? Have you ever been in a car accident?
Oh god, when I was 23 years old. So is
Okay.
that it? Is that the
Yeah, that
scenario?
you were 23 years old. Whose fault was it? Was it
20
yours or the other person?
I swerved. I got in my own car accident trying to avoid a deer.
You know what? And
And
that's perfectly
I
fine.
I totaled my car trying to avoid a deer. You want to hear that, guys? Hashtag America, keep America great, I guess. But you want to know something crazy? I'm sorry, but like, listen, you want to know something crazy? And I won't get into that right now. That's a different topic. But like, the insurance didn't cover it because I did not hit the deer.
Oh, wow. You know what's
Yeah.
funny?
So
You know what's crazy about that? When I was
Yeah.
16, I was in a fog in Indiana and a deer jumped in front of my car and I swerved and landed in a
No.
ditch. So I was in an accident involving an animal as well. Yeah.
Did you deal with the same stuff where they like, what deer? Like,
Nah,
talk to me.
nah, they knew what happened. It was that time of the year and
Yeah.
so I totally get that.
Yeah. So it was one of those things, unfortunately. Yeah, it wasn't covered. And of course, I was in a sports car. I was in a Mustang convertible
Oh
under the year
girl.
of 25. So my insurance was freaking expensive. And like, but because I didn't hit the deer, apparently in my full coverage, it wasn't covered because even though they did like the alcohol tests and stuff, like they and the drug tests, like they were like, well, how do I know you didn't just drive off the road? And I'm like, okay.
That's kind of yeah, that's weird, but hey, I'm glad you're here and
Anyway.
I'm glad you saved that deer.
I
All
saved
right.
Bambi's mom. Wait, well, I did.
Well,
Next
you know the
topic.
story of baby Bambi's mom. She's now
Oh.
dinner. She's dinner.
No,
It's all good. It's tasty, bro. It's
no,
tasty. All
no,
right,
no.
second
Oh my god.
question. What are some of the most memorable family vacations you've had as a child? You can just name one.
I'm gonna say a cruise. The very first cruise I ever went on, and that was I'll keep that story short, but that was a grandpa's kind of last like reunion. You know, like he was just getting old. He was very healthy, but he was getting old, and we kind of knew that was happening. So, yeah, that was the biggest like huge family reunion. We'd never gone on a cruise before, and we did all of that with Papa before. Doctor wasn't happy about it, but with Papa before, he kind of passed a few months after that, but yeah, it's like I was definitely broke for the longest time after that, but well worth it. 1000% memories
Absolutely.
I will remember forever. So,
What's the most unique thing that you enjoy living under the same roof with Mr. Fox?
that we enjoy doing nothing. I
Okay.
think that's one of the most unique things because I mean all of us do. Like we all get bored, but I feel like I know again as tacky as that sounds, but this is you guys got to find the person that you can do this with. I used to always worry if Mr. Fox was bored because I'm very chill, like listening to music. Sometimes I can go hours on end without doing anything, just listening to music and like doodling or something. And I was always worried that he was bored, but he actually calls it that too. He's like, "Are we doing nothing tonight?" He's like, "I can't wait to do nothing tonight." And I was like, "Oh, good." So I think that's the most unique. It's not the video games that we love to play. It's not the movies that we love to watch. It's just enjoying the company, whether or not we're like doing anything. So
Okay.
I think that's weirdly the most unique thing. I know that sounds weird, but
No,
because we're
no,
just
that's
very
perfect.
boring.
No, that's
Yeah,
perfect. No, that's
being
exciting.
boring together is the best, guys.
Nice. Okay, to date, what has been the best news you have ever received?
The best news that I've ever received.
Hmm.
It's a selfish one. It's kind of selfish. I think
Okay.
the best unbelievable news that I've ever received is when Mr. Fox proposed, and I was like, I'm sorry, what now? I was like, huh? That was probably the best news because I think we actually had the house before we got engaged, and we kind of um I've always been one of those like marriage is great, but marriage isn't usually the I know as being like the Disney princess person, like fairy tale person that I am. um I don't believe that marriage is a thing that you have to do. It's a piece of paper, etc., right? And we had the house before that, and I think I had always accepted that we were just going to live our happy little lives together, and marriage wasn't even an idea in my mind. So,
Right.
and
Mm,
if that makes sense, not that I didn't want to marry, but I was like, I'm happy, this is fine. I was like, I'm happy even if we weren't to get married. We already have our house and our little fur baby who hasn't moved at all. Are you okay? He's so cute.
He's a
All
part
he
of
does
the
is
decor. He's a part of the decor.
exactly. Someone
If
actually he freaked somebody out one time because somebody thought it was one of those stuffed animals, and when he moved his head, they were like, "He's real?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that
you
one's real right
placed
there."
him there on
Exactly.
purpose, you know what you're doing. All right.
Exactly.
We're gonna take it to the next level here. If you
All
could
right.
tell your fur babies how you really feel, what would you say to them?
I would say, "What the fuck? Why don't you love me as much as you love Mr. Fox?" That's exactly what I would say. No questions asked. I didn't even have to think about that one. They are such freaking daddy's boys. Like I said, he's here right now. If you were to hear the door open, you'll see him peek up and just run immediately. And I'm like, okay. And like, I don't know. They're always like on his lap. Mr. Fox can sit down for 2 seconds and he'll be cuddling and asleep with me the whole time on my lap right here. And as soon as Mr. Fox sits next to us, he's like, fuck yeah. And he just
I gotta
sits. He's
go.
like, yes, I need to. And I'm like, come on, man. And then like even if I like take him and I'm like, no, stay with me, please. He always tries to like escape and go to him. So I'm like, what do you have to
Okay.
say for yourself, sleepy boy? He's still sleeping.
Money is no object. You can travel anywhere on this planet. Where would you go and why?
Japan. Because I'm a nerd. It's like probably
Okay.
just Japan. Because I think I'm a nerd and I love sushi. And I would like to try like the most like authentic sushi. And then I just think that would be one of the best places to travel.
Okay.
It'd be super fun. I feel like I would like fit in more there. Because I'm very older but young at heart and very like I mean I'm joking, but like the like I'm like a fucking fox ear like
Never
like
do that again
sandals.
in my presence.
Hey,
Don't you ooh woo
okay,
me.
good, good. I agree. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm
Oh
glad.
my
Okay, good.
God.
We're on the same page. I'm glad we agree. Okay.
Fair enough. All right. Growing up right now, what has been a unique experience that's been positive that you can always remember and reflect on?
Unique experience that's been positive. I would probably say, and that is technically kind of always been like my midlife crisis. Like things happen for a reason, so it's fine that it's not that way anymore. But I would genuinely say probably working at Disney as long as I have.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and it was a lot of fun. And I feel like if it weren't for life just being life, I would definitely still be there today. So I think that's
Okay.
one of the biggest experiences that very much has made me who I am, all good and bad. And it just, yeah, I still carry it with me. I almost jokingly say that I still work for Disney, and people are like, "You do?" And I'm like, I mean, I sold my soul for Disney, so I'm always working for Disney, even when I don't work for Disney. So
Hey, selling your soul is okay with me. I'm okay with that.
this wasn't by choice, guys. They branded me. Someone
And
tell them
hey,
they
sometimes you
branded
got to
me.
do what you got to do to survive. And I'm okay with branding as well.
I'm like, help, help.
When
No, I'm just
when you
kidding.
were in high school, what sports did you play, if any?
High school. Oh my god, what for like 80 years ago?
Yeah, 80 years
For
ago.
high school? Not high school. I did a lot of bowling and ki- ugh, I kind of did a little bit of basketball for a while. But the funny thing is, you knowing how small I am, like how
Yeah, I was
short
going
I
to
am.
question that choice right there. I was going to question that because you're a very
Well,
tiny lady.
yeah, exactly. So, okay, this is actually a before high school question. I'll say junior high school because I actually went to a junior high, not a middle school. It's very interesting. It's completely different. But and so the thing with me, I grew fast and then just stopped growing. So I had a growth spurt and I was pretty convinced I was going to be a professional basketball player because I love basketball and I was like and I was tall. If you compare me to like a fourth grade, well, I don't know nowadays, but if you compare me to a fourth grader, I'm pretty fucking tall. And you're like, wow, she's going places. And then in seventh and eighth grade, everybody just shot right up and then I stopped. So I played basketball my freshman year in high school and was like, absolutely not. I was like, that's, I tried. So, but bowling is where it's at now. And I actually still bowl to this day. So that's fun.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Okay, to date, what has been your proudest moment for yourself?
Proudest moment for myself. I'm I'm bad at hyping myself up. I don't know. Proudest moment for myself?
And it could range anywhere from making a sandwich to, building a school for children in your area. It could be anything.
Well, so actually I did build this school for no, no. I was like, so actually I did build this school. I think I guess this is more of like a technical answer, but being kind of proud with so I am kind of a bowling coach. When I say kind of, it's because same thing similarly to like Twitch. It's like kind of just when I have free time to like kind of coach. But I think some of the proudest moments, and it's a recurring thing, but this past tournament that we bowled in, when we bowled city tournament, some of the people that I had coached for that tournament kicked my ass.
Oh
And it was
shit.
Yeah, and it was a very fun, and what I love is like I love when, with like bickering and sports talk and stuff, people were like, I thought you said you were a good coach. And I was like, I am a good coach. I was like, they beat me. I was like, I did something right. Cause if they can beat their coach, I'm like,
Hey,
yeah. So
the student
I was like,
becomes the master. That's awesome. That means you did a
yeah,
really
I was
good
like, I gotta
job.
say that. I was like, if they can beat me, then no, I'm just kidding. I'm not that, but if they can beat me, then I did something right, right? I guess that's a proud moment I can say.
Okay. All right. So if you can go back in time, okay, and a part of your life that you could relive, where would that be? What time period would that be that you could relive and why?
A time period of my own life.
Yeah, that if you could go back in time and relive it because it was just that awesome, where would it be and why?
It's it's a repetitive answer, but I would still say Disney.
Okay.
Some of those were like, aside from the experience for me just enjoying it, making, and like I said about like with the previous question about like it kind of making me who I am, being at Disney and it being like jam packed into your genes that you're supposed to create magic moments that people will remember forever. Um Stuff like that. Like those moments are, I guess, ties into that other question about like what makes you proud. Those moments are like some of the most proud moments that I have, just knowing that, like, maybe someone like will grow up and be like, oh my God, there was this one time at Disney, and just being like, hmm, that's
Right.
fun. And being like, just knowing that, like, you could create that, because I think that's what sets Disney apart, because people do genuinely care there and they want to make it. So they know you're on vacation. They want to make it as magical as they can. And I try to do that every day. So
No, it's
still,
awesome. All right.
yeah.
We're almost done here. So the next question is if you had $1 million, what would be the first thing you spend it on?
The first thing I would spend it on, and hold me to this, guys, if I ever win the lottery, I've literally said I'm going to get a 3-story Twitch Airbnb for all of the Twitch communities. And it's not going to be like a public thing. It's only going to be like, hey, who's got like the house that weekend? And it's probably still going to be in Colorado. I'm telling you right now, guys. So fast forward 20 years when I'm a millionaire, if I'm still alive, fast forward 20 years to me being a millionaire, it's probably still going to be in Colorado because that's kind of center. It's like right in the
Right.
middle. Yeah, and
Okay.
somewhere in the mountains, I want to get a freaking giant ass Airbnb for people to just rent out, and it'll be our little Twitch castle, and it's going to be
I
amazing.
like that. A Twitch castle. Okay. Last question.
It'll be so fun. Okay,
Who is your
42.
favorite
Oh,
comic book character that you relate to through and through?
okay. I'm gonna gauge your reaction on this before I explain it, but I'm gonna say Doctor Strange.
Well, I mean, I didn't want to assume like tell me why you relate to Doctor. I mean, look, the thing that you took from him back there, the cape, I get it. I would take it too. I would
We'll
take it
drop that.
too.
Sorry, I know what
But
you're talking about.
for you,
End this one.
yeah, of course. Again, I didn't want to be like, obviously, you. No, no, no. Look. I have a bunch of stuff behind me that you're just like, why do you have that? I don't even want to do that. I'd rather let you
No, no, don't worry
explain
about it. Yeah.
why. So why Doctor Strange?
Well, on a deeper level, again, I know that sounds crazy, but the reason I can relate to him is because I think part of the reason that I am the way that I am as well is because there was a time in my life. I'm an only child. You have to, people always forget that I'm an only child. And there was some time, a point in my life where I was very selfish. Maybe not on purpose, but I'm like, I'm just used to being not spoiled in the sense that I get everything that I want. Not that, but like all I had to worry about was like myself. And like that's all I knew was just worrying about myself and what I wanted and how things made me feel and etc. And the big thing with Doctor Strange, even before the movies, with like the comic book stuff, is how the whole reason he kind of became an accidental sorcerer was to fix his hands, because he got in like that car accident and he was a prick. Even more so than Iron Man. I wouldn't say I was like a prick or anything, but even more so than Iron Man. People are like, Iron Man's an asshole, right? Doctor Strange was worse. He didn't
Right.
give zero shits about a damn single other person except for Christine. He didn't give a shit about anybody. He didn't care about anyone. He was like the freaking surgeon. He's a brain surgeon. He's a genius. He's amazing. He's better than everybody, etc. The only reason he went to Carmitage to like learn sorcery magic was so he could fix his hands because he still needed to be the best doctor in the world and blah, 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 right? And that was always inspiring to me because obviously after that point, um that was when she pretty much, well, I would say she from the movies, but that's when the ancient one pretty much told him the bigger story about like, hey, it's not about you, like there were other things going on, like you're not, the world doesn't revolve around you, etc. And there are bigger things that we need to help with in this universe, and more spiritual if you want it to be, whatever, or not spiritual, etc. And to be that much of a prick and to make that decision that he was going to protect the universe is not an easy thing. It's always fine for like Captain America to do the right thing.
Right.
Captain America, he'll always do the right thing. But to take a prick that is completely self-centered and gives zero shits about anybody and was able to like turn that around and, kind of put that aside for a second to do the right thing and look at the bigger picture, that again, it's not about you. It's not about me, it's not about you. It's about like the world,
Right.
was just a big eye-opening thing to me when I read one of the first like graphic novels of that, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is dark and it's magic." I honestly almost kind of liked it just because, me, I like the magic and the sorcery, and I'm very much a fantasy kind of person. That's why I was like, I gotta check this dude out. He seems pretty cool. And then for that to be like a deeper story, and like for someone that isn't as selfish as that person, for that to still hit me that much and be like, shit. I was like, that's crazy. Like that's crazy sauce. Like really kind of turned it around. So it's not just a he's cool kind of thing. That
Right.
really meant a lot to me. And that's why I know we keep laughing and joking about the cloaks, but that's why the cloaks are important, because like you said, the cloak chooses the sorcerer, and it's like, it's I'm like, I like to pretend that I'm like, oh yay, cool. I didn't steal that at all from the Sorcerer Supreme. That's fine. It chose me for
It
sure.
chose you,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you a few moments, okay? I know this is a little different and it's not something I normally do, but our story is a little different. Okay, it's a little different. How did we meet?
Who are you?
Oh, my name is Cambodian Jones. I hunt koalas that have run and overtaken Cambodia, even though they're native
Oh
to
no.
Australia. So
Even though they're not even,
they're an
they love it.
invasive
Oh no.
species in Cambodia.
Right, right. That's so funny. Oh my god, guys, strap in. This is my favorite story to tell. I tell it on stream probably like once a month at least. Like, holy crap, guys. Um, my favorite, I was having, this is before I actually started streaming too. So that's why this is like one of my biggest stories and my favorite things. I was having a really, really, really shitty weekend, and I was supposed to be working, I believe, if I even recall, I'm pretty sure it was like a Saturday, and I was supposed to be working. I was just going through it. I don't know what my deal was. I just was having a really shitty day. And this, I feel bad saying this, but because everybody loved me so much, all of my streamers, like I didn't have as many streamers that I watched on Twitch at the time, but all of those streamers, they can tell, you know what I mean, with me if there's something going on. So on my Saturday, while I'm having an emotional breakdown, I'm like, I need to like just at least not talk to somebody about what's going on, but I just need to talk to somebody. But everyone could kind of tell. And I'm like, I'm chilling, have a good day. It's a Saturday. I'm just relaxing. I just wanted to say hi. But I wasn't like vibing with anybody correctly because everyone was too protective. And they're like, what's going on? Tell me what's up. And I was like, oh, nothing. I didn't want to talk about it. I just wanted to like laugh and have a conversation. So I literally went on just chatting just to see who would be up on just chatting, and freaking OBS Beers actually was, I know it's so crazy. It's so crazy to like think about that. That's so crazy. But OBS Beers was on one of my recommended pages, and I was just like, whatever. And like, I of course got a feel for it. I'd never been in there. I just thought I would say hi for no reason. You were talking about like birthday shirts that you were doing. I think that day you were showing someone because you have like the pet cemetery in your Discord, and you showed a picture of something. I don't remember, someone's dog or something, and you were like, "Yeah, we have that for like everyone's pets and all of that." And I was like, "That's sick." And then we were also kind of bullshitting and laughing and talking about movies and just doing coffee talk and doing whatever. So I thought I'd say hi and like hang out, and I was like, "Okay, well that was cool," and it made me feel so much better. And like I wasn't even sure for sure if I was gonna follow. I just was vibing and having fun, and I was like, I'm still new to Twitch. I don't even hang out on Twitch that much. I don't know what to
Right.
do. But we pretty much hung out for I hung out for almost the entirety of the stream, and then like the rest is history. And
Yeah.
now you're literally one of my best friends. I'm gonna say it right now because it's the end of the video. So boom.
Just to let everyone know,
Yeah.
I ended up doing a rebranding not too long ago, and for 10 years
Yeah.
I was OBS Beers, and now it's just Key Encounters. So just in case people are like, well, wait, I thought this
Huh?
was Key,
Who?
you know. So
What? And then
yeah, I've had the
you're like, wait,
pleasure
what?
of meeting you, and not only once but twice here in Vegas. I know I'm definitely working on coming out there to Colorado and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're an awesome person to hang out with and the whole nine. Now I'm gonna give you a moment here to thank your community, Mr. Fox, and the whole shebang. So I'm gonna give the floor to you, and I want you to just let them have it and how you feel.
Guys, genuinely, I love everybody so much. I did kind of say it already earlier, but like I said, streamers are only as good as like their communities are. Like, we've got all of like our people here, like, in your community as well, that we like hang out and have fun. And I just thank you because, like I said, as I mentioned earlier, I never thought I would need this much time for streaming because I didn't think I was going to build these relationships. I thought it was going to be kind of like a one and done. I stream for a few hours and I say, have a good night. That was fun. Not that I would build all these relationships and have fun and be like, shit, now everyone's streaming. Now everyone's doing all these things. And just the amount of acceptance and patience that I get from Mr. Fox as well, and from Key Encounters and from everybody in the community is just, I'm getting emotional, but it's unmatched. And I genuinely like, I know you're so sweet, Key, and you're always like, oh yeah, you're such a great friend, and you're so nice and etc. I still, like I said, the most confident, insecure person you'll ever meet, or the most insecure, confident person, however you want to swing that. I don't get it. But like, if you guys are having fun, if I can literally make you guys smile or laugh, even if it's at my expense, I don't fucking care. As long as I can turn your day around with stuff like that, that's great. So I don't know, the patience and the amount of love is like unfathomable because, like I said, I just thought I was going to play games and be done with it. And now I just get emotional every single time I stream, and I don't even have the words to say it other than just repeating it all the time, that I have zero words to explain how much I absolutely appreciate everybody, including Key Encounters as well. I'm
You
gonna keep
could
saying
it's fine, it's fine. It's perfectly okay.
it.
Now, since we're now at the end, we kind of went a little over and it's perfectly fine. How can they find you and what platforms are you on? Because all this stuff will be
Oh,
linked at the bottom of the video.
yeah, no, for sure, guys. I'm pretty much everywhere now. It used to just kind of be on Twitch and Instagram. I am everywhere now. I'm on Instagram. I try to post more stupid videos on TikTok, and then, like I said, YouTube is going to be dedicated to like the gameplay. Twitch is going to be dedicated to like the chitty chatty. TikTok is dedicated to the stupid laugh stuff, and then Instagram is just dedicated to cute life things like pictures of little puppy here and all of those fun things. But yeah, I guess you said it'll be wherever, but
It'll be at the
most
located at the bottom, yeah.
it's somewhere over. Yeah, that's what I said. I was just stressing and just trying to like.
And just so you guys
Yeah.
know, it is spelled FyrF0x.
Tell them why, Key.
I don't know.
No, so
I
there's a zero. It's because we give zero fox in the Little Embers community.
See, I wish I'd have known that. I didn't know that. I just thought it was just a unique, creative way to spell your name. Now I know it's zero foxes because they
Yeah,
don't
no.
care.
I
Fair
mean,
enough.
I joke. I'm just kidding when I say this, guys. 1,000% kidding. I only wish I were that confident, but I joke that I have Taylor Swift brain, and I was like, everything that I do is for a reason because she's very like deliberate. Things are on purpose. Numbers that she uses, colors she uses, everything is on purpose, and that's kind of similar with me. Not
Okay.
Taylor Swift level, but yeah, it's there's a zero in Fox, by the way, and then it's FYR instead of fire, but it's FYR at zero fox because of the Little Embers community. There are zero fox given, and we have fun. So
I would like to say thank you for your time, and I appreciate getting to know you a little bit.
he's cheating. He knew all these answers already.
I didn't know any. Wait, nope, not doing this with you. I didn't know. I didn't know. I don't know none of this. All right, you guys better go follow her. And thank you everybody who's watching and all that good jazz. All right,
Hashtag fan clan.
say goodbye.
Bye. I love you guys.